This old gun's been in the closet for 30-odd years. Gunslinging gun, if you will. The hide on it is the rattlesnake that bit me. Well, he didn't get through my boot, but he sure hit me. This old gunfighting rig, I don't even consider using it anymore. Between my arthritis and old age, I'm not that fast anymore. You've seen that I've slowed down with my BB gun fast draw shooting. So it's just not something I'm into by any means that I had when I was young. But I've also learned a few other things on the gun line, and that is that this gun isn't as important to most people as they think it might be. Having the ability to fight with a gun to keep the bad guys at bay, well, the odds are extremely slim that you'll ever need to fight for your life. Extremely slim. And even then, most of the time you can either hide, run, or talk your way out of trouble. But some people also talk that scare me a little bit. And they say maybe it's getting close to time to taking on the government, overthrowing the government, putting it back to a republic like it used to be. And they talk about firearms for that. And I have a hard time not laughing, because ain't no gun gonna overthrow this government. And if you think by chance that the law enforcement, from the CIA down to your local county and city cops, are gonna go out in the middle of the street and have a gunfight with you, and the winner gets to decide, how this government's going to be run, you'd be sadly mistaken. Because you never are going to face one cop. You'd be lucky if there's just a dozen, if not 50. And if by chance, some miracle, you fast draw or gunfight them and take those out, if push comes to shove, they'll move the army in. You ain't going to take out this government. It's set it up in such a way that it can't be done. It can't be done. And no good old boys are gonna change that. But that doesn't mean that you can't be safer and make the government, that is very oppressive, I'll give you that. They're very oppressive. But there are ways, without violence, without the gun, to make them leave you alone. And here's one of the ways. One of the ways is good hard cash, and to buy an insurance policy, if you will. An example is my wife and I went to Thanksgiving. We ate out, and there were 3 state patrolmen about 3 tables down from us. And so I had the waitress, when she came over to get our order, because the state patrolmen are already eating, I said, give me their bill when they get done and I'll pay for it. And she said, okay. So when the officers got done, she pointed over to us and said, they paid your bill. They paid your bill. So one of the state patrolmen came over and he said, thank you for paying for our meals. And I said, that's the least I can do. Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to be nice on a holiday since you don't get to be with your families. And he said, well, we appreciate it. And you could see cops don't mean to, but they size you up. You could tell he was looking me over good. And then he reached in his pocket and he pulled out and he handed me his law enforcement card with phone number and everything on it. He said, if you have any kind of trouble with law enforcement of any kind, any time, you give me a call. You just give me a call. And I said, well, I doubt if I ever will. But I said, it's nice to have that. Thank you very much. An insurance policy, one-time pay, and it might make the difference on the day when the dark side and evil comes calling to you. It might just make the difference. Just as I was nice and did a tribute to a young lady I knew, and her brother had become a lawyer after that, and he contacted me and was very grateful for the tribute I gave to his sister. And so he said, if you ever have any need of a lawyer, ever, he said, you just make the one phone call, and he said, it'll be free. He said, whatever I have to do, I'll help you. And I said, thank you, but again, I'll probably never need it, but thank you. Another insurance policy. I had a district judge back years ago, and his daughter was going through a hard time. And so I helped her a little bit in my Mr. Bill way. And he found out about it, and so he gave me a call and said, again, basically the same thing. Thank you very much for helping my daughter, and if there's anything I can do for you, you just make the call. Day or night, you make the call. I suppose I've had most of a dozen different government officials and people offer that type of thing to me. Whether it was being nice to them, or whether it was offering and paying for a meal for them. Those kind of things and that kind of an insurance policy is 100 times better than thinking that the only way you're going to defend yourself is with a gun or any kind of violence. This is McCook's Mr. Bill. Rate this film